Okay, I think we can start now.
All right, can
Um,
everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty.
Okay, so give it a second. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us at this RAAPA conference. Um, in just a second, I will hand it over to the host. Just a question: are you planning on doing a Q&A?
Yes, we will be
Yeah.
having a Q&A at the end.
Okay, so just some housekeeping rules for when the Q&A starts at the end of the conference. Please keep it relevant questions for your sake and our sake.
Mhm.
Non-relevant questions will be ignored. And having said that, well, first of all, sorry, we will do it first in voice chat, and then we'll move over to in game. If for any reasons you are not able to join us in game, just a reminder, we are streaming this conference in the events page, so just join the event site um, and go to the conference stage. So having said that, stage is all yours. Enjoy.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Roger. Alrighty. All right, everyone, welcome to our first official RAPA conference for our Walt Disney Studios Park conference on Roblox. We're really excited to be here, and we're glad everyone here could make it because this is a really special project to both of us, and we're really excited to share what we have in store for you guys. Jake, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, so throughout this conference, we're just going to be sort of taking everyone through the park, through each area individually, sort of explaining the story of the park. Yeah, we'll just go through it land by land, area by area. So to start off with, we have the Hyperion Plaza, which will be the entrance of the park. It is heavily inspired by the original Hyperion Studios of the 1920s. So it takes you not only to the beginning, it's the beginning of your story in the park, but it's the beginning of Walt Disney's story. It's a lot of sort of symbolism in the storyline of this park where you start off behind the scenes and you move through the screen into the world of your favorite movies, as we're about to, uh, talk about in a moment. So the entrance will be full of shops, areas inspired by the 1920s, photo opportunities to make a grand entrance into the park. Um, you'll find loads of nods to the original 1920 studio, loads of fun Easter eggs. So then the park's main street will be inside of Studio One, which will sort of take the story of a big garden movie premiere party where you are the star, and it will take you through the decades of the park into the theatre district, which Backlot is going to talk about now.
So the theater district is something we're really excited about. This area will basically be themed to your classic Hollywood, golden age of Hollywood theater district, taking inspiration from places also like the New York Broadway district and London theater district. But the overall theme for this area will still be like old Hollywood, 1950s, 1940s. And some attractions that will be here are, the studio theater where you can watch some really cool shows. And of course, a lot of people's favorite, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, which we're also really excited about because we've worked really hard on that as well. And we're really excited to, show that to you guys as well once we get that open.
Mhm.
But this area, yes, it's just overall themed to, the old Hollywood theater district, the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. And um, yeah.
Okay. So from the theatre district, we will move on from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. You may notice as you progress down Hollywood Boulevard, the architecture might begin to become a little more whimsical. Um, Everything a little more fantasy-like as we sort of bring you from the world of the movies into the movies themselves. So, it's a slow transition which will take you through a long garden promenade with different sort of spaces and universes to explore on the way down. For example, you'll find the English Garden, which will be filled with it'll be an area with a gazebo, a place for shows to take place. Um, it will have lots of references to Disney movies you will find taking place in England. So, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, loads more. Um, and it will sort of bring the sort of ambience of the turn of the century in the UK. Um, on the right side, you might find the Toy Story Garden, which will have a lot of little references to the films, and then that area will eventually bring you down to Toy Story Playland, which we'll elaborate a little bit on later. Also on the street, there will be two flat rides. One will be a spinning teacups, but a boat ride. You're spinning boats around the lake, themed to Tangled. So you'll be spinning around on a boat with, the lanterns above you, very reminiscent of that scene from the film. From there, you'll move on to the lake, which Backlot should elaborate on for me.
Okay, so the lake area, the Lake District actually will be really heavily inspired by the Art Nouveau movement, which is kind of like a predecessor to like Art Deco. So like as Jake DLP mentioned, like we're kind of moving away from like the old Hollywood glamour and kind of go into like a more whimsical kind of area. And this area will also kind of be slightly inspired by the old Paradise Pier kind of aesthetic with like you have the lake and then you have like the attractions and like restaurants kind of surrounding it. So it will kind of give up that kind of vibe. And I feel like
Similar
that'd be
to
like
World Showcase as well around the
yeah,
lake.
similar to World Showcase as well. And that will also lead into a frozen kind of area, a frozen land, Arendelle, which is also we're really excited about because we don't think we've ever seen kind of like an official like frozen land or like a frozen themed area kind of built or like showcase. Um, so then we I'm trying to think of a way to confirm this, but like not also confirm this. But it's from the lake area, it will kind of branch off into Frozen, and then two other lands, which we will kind of maybe keep secret for now, because we kind of
Yeah,
want to build anticipation for that. So
we
make sure
have
to join. Oh,
ideas.
yeah, we have a couple ideas for that. We want to kind of keep that up, but there are more lands coming as well. Um, so yeah, that's all that really could be said for the lake area. It's going to kind of act as like, like a hub and it will just branch off into different areas, but it's more of like for the aesthetic and just to kind of like add like a midpoint for these different areas that it will branch off into.
Yeah. So, from there, around the lake and the rest of the park, there'll be loads of different, film universes to explore, different franchises. You'll probably recognize some of the posters behind me for the areas that will be in the park. For example, Avengers Campus will be present. Um, Worlds of Pixar will involve, a load, loads of different properties there. Um, Such as Remy's Ratatouille Adventure or, the French title for the attraction Crush's Coaster, along with Toy Story Playland. Um, Other attractions that you might find in Avengers Campus would be Web Slingers, Flight Force, Frozen Ever After will then be in the Frozen area, and then we have attractions in mind for the other two secret at the moment areas. We'll also have Cars Road Trip, which will be a sort of tram tour, very reminiscent of a sort of studio tram tour attraction that takes you through different scenes. You might find some very similar effects uh to the studio tram tour or the backlot tour as it's called in Walt Disney World. If you're familiar with that ride, you might notice quite a few similarities. Um, so yeah, the overall goal of the park and the storyline being told is you start off behind the scenes and then through the sort of transitional point of Studio One and the theater district, you then step through the silver screen into the world of the movies. I think that's all I have to say on that.
All right, everyone. So, yeah, just as Jake said, we're really excited to be showing this to you guys because for both of us, this has been like a really important like project, and we are working. Will be a long-term project, so we won't give up on it too easy. And we also kind of want to also announce that because we've been getting a lot of questions about this on our server, like when will we be opening and how will we be like arranging everything. We're kind of going to be opening things like little by little. So like not like we'll just be opening things section by section. So right now, today actually, we're not sure exactly for what time. We will be opening a very small section of the resort hub / esplanade. It's not anything like too crazy. It's just kind of just
Mhm.
to build anticipation as well. So that will be announced on our Discord server. All our links to our socials can be found in our booth in the blue room. And I guess now we can move on to the Q&A if we still have time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we will first do in-game. Sorry, not in-game. Discord Q&A. Raise your hand if you have any question, and
Yes.
bring you up the stage. Okay, let me just turn on this. By the way, so let's start with missing.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So a lot of the areas you're describing regarding like Frozen and the lake area, I guess aren't technically in the Walt Disney Studios Park yet. Are you guys
Mhm.
basing your rides off of construction photos? Are you taking more artistic liberties with it? How is your approach to building unreleased?
Okay.
Yeah, answer that. We have access to lots of blueprints, construction permits. We have a reasonable amount of inside info. We have a well enough idea of what everything's going to look like, so that we may have to sort of, the best way I can explain it is like maybe perhaps like temporary creative liberties, and then we can make amends to that when the real thing opens later on. If that
Right.
answers your question.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's bring up Caleb.
Other groups with similar parks, similar names, similar IPs, etc.
Well, we aren't really looking to kind of like differentiate. We're kind of just doing this project just because we have a really big passion for like the Disneyland Paris resort in general. But I guess to answer your question, we're also trying to be as accurate as possible and to really get every detail in there. And we really are kind of putting an emphasis on accuracy and just like I said before, just a lot of just like details that like people might really miss when recreating something, just to kind of bring more of that like real world feel into the virtual kind of world in a sense.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's bring up Mr. Met.
So I've been asking this a lot at the panels, and I'm gonna be asking it again. Are there any plans to add meet and greets into the park?
Hello, everyone.
Yes,
Welcome.
actually, we do plan to
First
have
act
meet and
as the
greets, but we
RAAPA
just
host,
need
so let me just
more devs for that as well,
give
because we're
some
currently like a really
information.
small group
So
and we
welcome,
don't have a lot of
everyone.
people. But the people
Let's
that are
start
helping
our
have done a
conference
tremendous
about
job
engineering. So
of
thank
pushing
you
us forward, and we are so
to them for
appreciative
being
for
here.
that. But yes, we do plan to have meet and greets once we get bigger, I guess, if that does happen. But just to overall to answer your question, yes, we do plan to have those.
All right, sounds cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's bring up Starport.
Hello.
Hello.
My question is, will after the park is built, will you eventually expand to Disneyland Paris and the other resort complexes after the main park is done?
We have kind of very small, not like concrete plans for that, but it kind of depends on how like Walt Disney Studio Park goes and how much like we have done with that. But I guess that's kind of in the back of our heads at the moment to expand, but we can't really 100% confirm that at the moment.
Yeah. About the other complexes though, we have the spawn area is a section of Disney Village. We have sections of Disney Village done. We have the Esplanade done, so it's not exclusive to just the park on its own. Like you can explore around it. There's quite a lot of spaces to explore actually.
Right. Park looks fantastic too, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you, Starport. Let's bring up Uneven.
Hello. I have a question about what was I gonna say? Oh, are you guys gonna have like how many coaster rides are you guys gonna have?
Jake, do you
Let
want
me
to
think
answer that?
about that. Yeah. So you have Flight Force, which is a rock and roller coaster clone. you have Crush's Coaster, which is a Mara spinning coaster. I think that's it. You also have RC Racer, which is, I think it's a shuttle coaster, an Intamin one.
So I
But
think
yeah,
3.
Wait, is it a coaster though? Because it's sort of like a flat ride.
I think
it's a, yeah, I guess you could say it's a flat ride
yeah.
as well.
So I
It's
guess
It's like a hybrid thing.
maybe two,
Yeah.
2.5 or something.
2.5, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Hope
Thank
you have a
you.
good day. And I love you guys' build.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
amazing.
Thank
you.
you.
1 second, I lost Discord. Okay, where is it? There. Because I think that is all the questions we had here on Discord. Having said that, first of all, I'd like to thank Jake Backlot for the presentation. They will still take answers for you in chat. If you're in the game, please line up in the center corridor. We want to ask any questions. We will though be ending this stage and also the stream on the events page. Thank you all of us for joining us. The next conference will be at 2 Eastern, and it's going to be the Apex attraction. So there. Thank you very much. Everyone. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.